Today, you're about to witness some of the most unbelievable world records ever achieved. Records so impossible that they may never be broken. And here's the best part. The further this video goes, the more terrifying they become. You'll see one man standing completely still for 38 hours. A daredevil jumping from 25,000 feet without a parachute. And finally, a record so deadly that 7 out of every 10 people who tried to break it lost their lives. Stay until the end, and welcome to the world of the impossible. Something as simple as taking a sip of water can stop us in our tracks. This man chugged a full gallon of lemonade in only 21 seconds. Before the others even grabbed their glasses, he had already finished and set the record. Standing sounds easy, right? Think again. He stood perfectly still for 38 hours. No breaks, no sitting, not even a single step. The entire challenge was streamed live, with the world watching every second. After 38 hours, he finally took a step. The record was his, but his legs no longer felt like his own. Jumping from 37 feet usually means landing in a deep pool, but beneath this man, there were only 12 inches of water, just 1 foot deep. To break the world's longest ski jump record, they took insanity to another level. They carved a massive ramp into a mountainside, moved 150,000 cubic yards of snow, and built a 2,800-foot track. Then they launched through the air, flying an incredible 855 feet. Without moving an inch, he held the same position for 9 hours, 38 minutes, and 47 seconds. Some records are simply untouchable. Decades pass, yet no one comes close. At the 1991 World Championships in Tokyo, this athlete soared nearly 29 feet in the long jump, a leap no one had ever achieved before. Even he could never repeat that jump again. In a 2022 race, this driver changed the sport forever. Final lap, no time left, running in 10th place with no chance to win. Then, in a split second, he slammed his car against the wall and rode it around the entire corner.
Chastain used the wall all the way around this racetrack to race his way into the championship pool.
He went from 10th to 5th place on that last lap.
The move launched him from 10th to 5th in a single lap. He even set one of the fastest laps ever recorded. But it was so outrageous that officials banned it, ensuring no one could ever do it again. This giant from Iceland, known to many as the Mountain from Game of Thrones, lifted something weighing almost as much as an entire car.
10 kilograms. Ladies and gentlemen, there is... Wow!
The bar bent under the crushing weight. It remains the heaviest deadlift in human history. He looked less like a man and more like a giant. You've probably never seen a bicycle this massive. Standing nearly 35 feet tall, this one-wheeled monster was known as the Tower of Death. Riding it without falling was almost impossible. Yet this performer steered it through turns and rode 12 miles without any assistance. The stunt was so dangerous that even after 35 years, Guinness has never officially recognized the record. In Brazil stands a 22-story building shaped like a giant skate ramp. For years, skaters dreamed of riding it, but no one dared. Then, a world champion built a custom ramp onto its side. After countless attempts, he finally dropped from over 229 feet on a skateboard, with nothing but a 22-story drop beneath his feet. Unbelievable. This man set a record that seemed to come straight from the grave. In 1968, after sharing one final meal with the people of his town, he climbed into a coffin. It was buried 6 feet underground, where he remained for an astonishing 61 days. But the most unbelievable part came after he emerged. He had no regrets. In fact, he said, "I would have stayed another 100 days.
Morning, I heard somebody asked you if you wanted to come up and you said you didn't want to come up.
Oh, I didn't want to go, but I want to go ahead for 100 days more.
In 1986, an entire city set out to make history. After 6 months of planning and 2,500 volunteers, everything was ready. Giant nets stretched across the city, and then 1.5 million balloons were released.
500,000 balloons going up in the air at this very moment.
Completely covering the terminal tower.
And the wind has just shifted just enough that the...
Then the wind changed. The balloons drifted onto highways, shutting down traffic. The airport was forced to close. Thousands landed on the lake, disrupting an active rescue mission. Tragically, 2 people lost their lives. The city was hit with millions of dollars in lawsuits. They did break a record, but it was also the last time anyone was ever allowed to try it. Then came a plan almost too insane to imagine. Jump from 25,000 feet with no parachute and no backup, landing only in a giant safety net below. Officials had one condition: wear a backup parachute. But that extra weight could throw off his aim. He was ready to walk away until, just minutes before the jump, the rule was finally dropped.
Why he was doing that?
Then came the moment of truth. For nearly 2 minutes, he free fell through the sky at 150 miles per hour before landing perfectly in the waiting net below. This man took the phrase "think outside the box" literally. He and his team stacked 18,000 cardboard boxes into a massive landing pad. The plan? Fly in from 24,000 feet wearing only a wingsuit and land on the boxes with no parachute. Everyone told him not to do it. He ignored them all and landed perfectly on the mountain of boxes. Some people earn legendary status. Others seem born for it. He arrived in the world as an ordinary baby, but his parents soon realized something was different. He grew 3 times faster than normal. By age 5, he was already 5.5 feet tall. A rare condition caused his body to produce excessive growth hormone, and he simply never stopped growing. Before finishing school, he stood over 8.5 feet tall. When he died in 1940 at just 22 years old, he measured 8 feet 11 inches, the tallest person ever recorded in history. This is a 3,000-foot vertical rock wall. Even the world's best climbers need days and full safety gear to reach the top. But this man took on the impossible with nothing but a pair of climbing shoes and a little chalk on his hands. No rope, no helmet, no safety gear. Just 3 hours and 56 minutes later, he stood at the summit. While most climbers were still unpacking their gear, he was already standing on the summit, catching his breath. This man wanted to do something the world had never seen: drive a car faster than the speed of sound. He assembled a team of designers, engineers, and a fighter jet pilot. Together, they built a jet-powered monster with 2 military jet engines, weighing over 10 tons and stretching 54 feet long. Then, in 1997, deep in the Nevada desert, the machine came to life.
The average for the 2 runs was 763 miles an hour. But more important,
Reaching 763 miles per hour, it shattered the sound barrier. Nearly 3 decades later, no car has ever gone faster. Now, for the most terrifying record of them all. This is a record so deadly, the survival rate is almost unbelievable. Since the 1940s, the world water speed record has been challenged only 7 times, and 5 of those attempts ended in death. That's a 70% fatality rate. Boats exploded apart, drivers disappeared beneath the water. But this man was different. He wasn't a millionaire, a factory racer, or part of an elite team. He built his own boat by hand, using plywood and fiberglass in his backyard. Then, in 1978, he pushed it to an astonishing 317 miles per hour across the water. To this day, no one has broken that record and lived to tell the story. 317 miles per hour on water. Just imagine that.